X, pronounced iPhone X, represents the most radical change to Apple's design language in the iPhone's 10-year history, as almost the entire face of the phone is now dominated by the display. Save for a small notch at the top of the front edge, more on that later, the iPhone X has pretty thin bezels on all sides, though you wouldn't call it bezel-less. This means that the newest, most expensive iPhone ever looks nothing like its predecessors, though the overall design is pretty similar to what we've seen on a few Android phones, both with and without that notch. In a body that's smaller than the iPhone 7 Plus, Apple has packed a display which at 5.8-inches is its largest yet on a smartphone. Belatedly, Apple has caught up with the Android manufacturers when it comes to having a screen-to-body ratio that's befitting a smartphone shipping in 2017. That's not all. Another piece of tech seen hitherto in smartphones by the likes of Samsung and others now makes its iPhone debut. OLED panels are seen on Apple-made phone for the first time, ensuring that the all-display front of the iPhone X really catches your eye. At the launch event, Apple said it believes OLED technology is finally at a place where it is able to offer brightness levels, wide color support, and color accuracy that the company desires. The Super Retina display on the iPhone X ticks all the right boxes when it comes to specifications: 1125 by 2436 pixels, 458 pixels per inch screen, Dolby Vision, HDR10, True Tone, and a 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio. In terms of performance, the iPhone X display is as good as we've seen on any smartphone. The price you pay for this all-display front is with the loss of the iconic home button and the embedded Touch ID sensor, which have been central to the way we interact with our iPhones since their respective introductions. Instead, you get Face ID, which is enabled thanks to an array of sensors in the notch we talked about earlier. Thanks to a dot projector, an infrared camera, and a flood illuminator, the iPhone X is able to build a 3D model of your face, even in the dark. Apple says this means Face ID cannot be fooled using your picture, or even a face mask that would trick most humans. Though we didn't get to test Face ID using our own face at the hands-on area at the Steve Jobs Theater on Tuesday, based on the demos we saw after the event. This first-generation unlocking technique is definitely slower than Touch ID, which is hardly a surprise. A fairer comparison would perhaps be with face unlocking implementations of other OEMs. And Face ID seems to ace the test more when we put the iPhone X through the paces during our review though. A fun new iPhone X feature that the True Depth camera system enables is called Animoji. This lets you send messages where emojis can take your face and voice. While fun, it will be interesting to see if Animojis continue to be used once the novelty wears off. There are other software touches that are different about the iPhone X. You swipe up from the bottom edge to mimic the functionality of the home button. Swipe and briefly hold to bring up the multitasking view, and slide down from the right of the notch to bring the control center into view.